I'd like to journey a little bit today. I'd like to journey through time. And, this Chabad thread is a very interesting thread. And I had the privilege of being with you in Chabad House in Berkeley one time. And in fact, several times. And, when I go there and they say, well, what are you? Sometimes I'll say I'm a Chabadnik. And they say, that's funny, you don't look Chabad. And I say, well, I'm a Zalman branch of Chabad. And, but I get special nachas, I really get special nachas because I know how hard the journey has been sometimes. So I get a special nachas when I saw you with Reb Hanan Feld, who's a moil and a tzaddik, and really adheres, cleaves to every detail of the tradition with a beautifully open heart. And that time I saw you in Chabad House, and he was listening attentively as you gave him advice. And you remember that day? I remember that day very well. And it's like, I don't know how many people even know that you're a moil, that you know how to do moil dicker things, that you know how to and your secret's always the same. Sharpen the knife. Sharpen the knife. Make sure the knife is sharp. It's all in the details. The angel is in the details. I don't know how many people know that not only is your name Schachter, but you shachted. And I remember the story of you on the Lower East Side of New York. Maybe it was Pitt Street?
No, it wasn't on Lower East Side. It wasn't Providence, Rhode Island. But it's good. This also happened.
I don't know. I have the memory of under the Brooklyn Bridge in a
Okay, Gesundheit.
But go ahead, set it straight.
Let me hear. It's a good midrash.
No. I'd love to hear the story of the Beebop rabbi.
Well, when I first came to Fall River, Massachusetts, as you see, I couldn't make a living for the family by what the congregation was paying me. And there was another job open for me in Providence, Rhode Island, to kill chickens for kosher. So I would go there in the morning. In the afternoon, I would teach kids. Somebody once made a mistake and reversed the words in an ad that appeared in Morgenjournal, in the Yiddish paper, asking for Shechet Tinoikes and Melamed Oifes. Nobody laughed. Okay, a few people laughed. A killer of chickens and a teacher of children and a teacher of chickens, right?
Thank God you didn't do the former and you did the latter.
So I would come into Providence, Rhode Island, and most of the people who sell chicken to the butchers treat them as merchandise. So some of them hadn't had any water, they hadn't had any food, they were seeing so many pieces of merchandise. And they brought in those cages of chickens. And I would send out the chicken pluckers and all those people, and I would spray them with water and give them something to drink. And then I would always talk to the chickens, I'm not there to kill you because I want you dead. I'm giving you an opportunity to become incorporated in human consciousness. And hopefully somebody's going to eat you on Shabbos, and that will raise you up. So they always would say, can't go in now, Beebop Rabbi talking to the chickens. Okay. The chicken pluckers would always tell about the exploits of the night before, boasting. It wasn't the right kind of environment where I could be sensitive to the sharpness and the freeness of the knife from nicks. So I would always start with singing a spiritual. And we had a whole repertoire of spirituals that we sang through, from Joshua fit in the Battle of Jericho. And there was a wonderful one that would, I'm walking down the King's Highway, and if I could, I surely would stand on the rock where Moses stood and walking down the King's Highway. And you go through the whole Bible that way. And especially like this one that they taught me. Boom, ba, 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 boom. Death, kameraden to the mother's door. Hey, old woman, is you ready to go? And my mother, she went down to buckle up her shoes, and she went down to the Jordan River, and she said, hallelujah, I've been redeemed. I got my traveling shoes. Boom, 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 boom. Beth come a riding to my father's door. Hey, old man, is you ready to go? And my father, he went down to buckle up his shoes, and he went down to the Jordan River, and he said, hallelujah, I've done my duty, I've been redeemed, I got my traveling shoes. Boom, 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 boom. Death come a riding to the sinner's door. Hey, old sinner, is you ready to go? And the sinner, he went down to buckle up his shoes. Boom, 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 boom. He ain't got no shoes. And he went down to the Jordan River, and he said, oh no, my Lord, ain't done my duty, ain't been redeemed, ain't got my traveling shoes.
So, one of the things that I like to think about in terms of Rebbe craft is that one of the main crafts, one of the most important crafts, is the mediation of realities. And that what you were doing there, you walk into a place, and here are people from a culture that's not the same as yours, and it's got an element of street and an element of holiness. And and what's going on is the jiving and the jostling about what's going on in the street, and you're walking into that environment, and you know that there's a very sacred act that needs to go on, and you want to bring everybody's consciousness together,
closer to it,
to it on a holier plane, and you know that if you say, "Hey, everybody, this is really holy," they're not going to really get it. So you just go to where they were, and you learned their songs, and you sang their songs with them, and their songs are the songs that brought them into holiness. And this was, to me, the amazing thing about what you did with as the Beebop rabbi.
Barry, I want to tell you something. After 120 years, when they make a cartoon of my life, you write the captions.